I rushed to the office, and Mike was waiting for me. "Kevin, I'm having trouble opening this file. It contains patient data, and if we can't access it, the reception work will come to a halt. I was hoping you could help." "What? Are you serious? If you can't handle it, there's no way this contractor can. He's an exterior repair contractor, you know." Rachel, the office manager, said sharply, with a puzzled look. I saw Mia, the beautiful office clerk, with tear-filled eyes, looking anxious. I couldn't just leave her, usually so cheerful, in such distress. "My name is Kevin. Right now, I work for my uncle's exterior repair company. At 30, I never thought I'd change jobs like this, but I've recently started to think that physical work isn't so bad. I've been playing rugby since high school, so I have a solid build and tend to stand out. People often say my broad shoulders are perfect for manual labor. However, I'm usually quite reserved, so I don't attract much attention even in my new workplace. For the past 2 weeks, I've been going to the hospital every day. Not because of an injury or illness, but for work. The hospital's exterior walls are quite deteriorated, and my uncle's company is handling the repairs. Since I'm new at the company, I'm treated like a rookie. My daily routine includes borrowing armbands and ID cards for all the workers from the hospital office. "Good morning, I'm Kevin from the exterior repair company. Can I get today's armbands and ID cards, please?" The person who always helps me at the office is Mia, a bright and pleasant-looking office clerk. Her large eyes and clear skin make her look like an actress. Her hair, in soft waves, bounces lightly as she walks. Seeing her cheerful face at the start of the day always lifts my spirits and energizes me. "Oh, good morning, Kevin. Just a moment. I'll get them for you." She says this as she quickly retrieves the necessary armbands and cards from a drawer. Meanwhile, I fill out the form with the company name, my name, and the borrowing time, and hand it to her. "It's going to be hot again today. Please make sure everyone stays hydrated." Lately, it's been unusually hot for June, with strong sunlight from the morning. She's always so friendly and kind, even to workers like me. Because of this, going to the office has become a little highlight of my day. Naturally, she's popular with patients, staff, and doctors alike. The men who talk to her obviously have a crush on her, which is clear even from a distance. When I came with my uncle 6 months ago to inspect the repair site, I didn't see her, so she must be a relatively new face at the hospital. One day, when I went to borrow the work ID cards as usual, the office atmosphere was different and unusually chaotic. When I asked what happened, I learned that a spreadsheet file containing patient data couldn't be opened because they didn't know the password. Rachel was furiously scolding Mia. It seemed that Mia was somehow involved in the problem. Rachel was threatening her with dismissal, and she was visibly trembling. Her usual brightness was completely gone, replaced by anxiety and fear. At that moment, a male staff member walked in. But when he saw me, he stopped in his tracks. "Kevin? Is that really you, Kevin?" I was momentarily puzzled by the familiar voice, but then I recognized his face. "Oh, Mike? Wow, it's been a while. Are you working here?" "Yes, I am. I'm the IT guy here." "Oh, sorry. We're in a bit of a crisis right now, so I'll contact you later." "Your contact info hasn't changed, right?" "Yeah, it's still the same. But I'll be here working on the hospital's exterior repairs for a while, so feel free to reach out anytime." He looked puzzled. "You're doing exterior repairs? Well, okay. Sorry, but I really have to go now." With that, he hurried over to Mia's computer. I was concerned about her, who looked on the verge of tears, but it wasn't my place to intervene. Plus, with Mike handling IT, I figured things would be resolved. It seemed impossible to get the armbands and ID cards from Mia today. I reluctantly asked another office clerk to prepare them and left the office. While I was working outside, the clerk who lent me the armband came looking for me. "Excuse me, is Kevin around here?" she called out loudly. "Yes, that's me." "What's up?" I replied just as loudly. "Mike from IT asked me to bring you over." Not knowing what it was about, I got permission from my uncle to leave my post. Since I was still an assistant, my absence wouldn't cause much disruption. I rushed to the office, and Mike was waiting for me. Kevin, I'm sorry to bother you at work, but we're having trouble opening this file. It contains patient data, and without it, the reception work stops. I'm the IT guy here, but I mostly liaise with contractors and rarely do hands-on work. I thought you might be able to help. What? What are you talking about? If you can't handle it, there's no way he can. He's an exterior wall repair contractor. Besides, we can't just let an outsider use our computers. Rachel's point was valid. He used to be my senior at an IT firm. He's a brilliant engineer and has helped me many times. If we can't open this file, the reception work stops. This is an emergency. I'll supervise his work, so please let him try. Kevin, can you help? Looking at the reception area, I saw clerks handling tasks on paper, creating a longer than usual line. Rachel, clearly irritated, responded. All right. But make sure you watch him closely and recover the file. I used to work in IT, but I had been away from that field for a while. However, I decided to lend a hand at the request of a junior colleague. Above all, I couldn't ignore Mia, who was always so cheerful, now looking so troubled. Mike, I'll help if I can. First, let me understand the situation. Why was the password changed, and is there a backup file? I'll explain. Mia said, her face full of anxiety. We update the password monthly for security. I followed the procedure to change it. The backup files are in this folder. I always save them here before changing the password. But when I checked, all the backup files were gone. Gone? Maybe they were moved to another folder? Mike interjected. I thought so too, but I searched and found nothing. They're not in the recycle bin either. Rachel added, her tone harsh. She must have accidentally deleted them. Who else would do it? Those words made her look like she was about to cry. I asked Mia. Do you have any idea what the new password might be? The passwords are generated using this site, and I write them on a sticky note and keep it in this drawer. It seemed like a primitive method, but many companies probably do the same. Did you check if the new password worked after changing it? Yes, I did. I'm not lying. Seeing her desperately defend herself, I felt like I was interrogating her and started feeling sorry for her. I understood the situation. I tried the password she had changed, its variations in uppercase and lowercase, and the original password, but the file wouldn't open. So, I decided to look up methods and tools online to decrypt the password. There was a sense of tension, mixed with a bit of nostalgia for my old job. A few minutes after running the tool, I successfully decrypted the password. The file's open. Mia, who was watching, exclaimed with shining eyes, "Wow, that's amazing." Thank you so much, Kevin. Mike also expressed his gratitude for my work. Kevin, you're incredible. Thank you. I can't believe you solved it so quickly. You're amazing. The staff around us shared in the joy, and the atmosphere instantly became brighter. Seeing everyone's relieved smiles made me happy as well. I never expected to be thanked so much. But I had doubts about the incident. Why were the backup files deleted? Why didn't the password Mia had confirmed work? Something felt off. I left the office to get back to my work, feeling a bit embarrassed by the grateful send-off from everyone, like I was a hero. That evening, when I went back to the office to return the armbands and ID cards, Mia suddenly spoke to me. Kevin, thank you so much for today. If you don't mind, would you like to grab dinner together? I was surprised and overjoyed by her invitation, pumping my fist in my mind. Honestly, I never expected her to ask me out. Yes, of course. I'd love to. I replied with a smile, though I was a bit nervous. The staff around us briefly glanced our way. Their expressions showing surprise and curiosity, with some even smiling. Noticing this, Mia blushed slightly. We agreed to meet at the hospital entrance. Usually, she wore her office uniform, so I hadn't noticed, but her casual clothes were lovely. A feminine top with stylish jeans. She had the aura of a sophisticated adult woman. In contrast, I was still in my work clothes. She initially suggested a fancy restaurant, but I declined. Dressed like this, they'd probably not let me in. We left the hospital and started walking towards a nearby pub. The town was bathed in the orange glow of sunset. "Are you familiar with this area?" she asked. "Well, it's alright. I know a few good bars, and the one we're going to today has great fish," I replied, sharing some local anecdotes with her. Most of them were things I had learned from my uncle. "I see. I'm still getting used to this area." As we walked, I noticed a fresh, floral scent coming from her. Was it a floral perfume? It made being near her even more pleasant. At the same time, I worried about smelling sweaty after a day's work. I discreetly checked my clothes. "Is something wrong, Kevin?" "I was just worried I might smell sweaty." She laughed softly. "I think you're the first guy I've met who's concerned about his smell." "Don't worry, you don't smell." Her kindness was clear, but I couldn't help wondering if she was just being polite. Dinner was at a local pub. A place my uncle often took me. The pub was small and had a relaxed atmosphere. We sat at a corner table, lightly clinking our beer glasses together. "Cheers," we said, taking a sip and starting to chat. We began with proper introductions. "Her name is Mia. She's 28, 2 years younger than me." She asked me to speak casually, so I did. I noticed her phone on the table, displaying a stunning nature photo. "That photo is amazing. Where did you take it?" I asked, intrigued. "Oh, I took this at the top of a mountain I visited last month during my break." "I love photography, especially capturing nature," she replied, beaming. "Wow, I also enjoy photography. I often go hiking and take landscape photos." I didn't expect us to have that in common. Mia, excited, suggested, "Then we should go on a photo shoot together next time." Her words made my heart skip a beat. Could this be a date invitation? But then I thought, maybe it's just a group outing with other photography enthusiasts. Not wanting to jump to conclusions, I replied calmly, "That sounds great. I'd love to. We can learn about each other's styles and have some fun." Our conversation flowed as we shared photos. While I was scrolling through my phone, Mia stopped me. "Wait, that photo is beautiful." Our fingers brushed against each other. It might have been nothing to her, but it made my heart race. We had planned to have a quick meal, but we ended up talking for 3 hours. The pub gradually quieted down, with occasional bursts of laughter breaking the tranquility. "Thank you so much for today. As a token of my appreciation for solving the issue, let me cover the bill," Mia said, pulling out her purse. "No, I'll pay today. I had a great time, and I want to go out with you again. Next time, I'll be in casual clothes and won't smell sweaty." She laughed softly. "Alright, next time it's my treat. I'll find a nice place you'll enjoy," she agreed. Her smile warmed my heart, and I felt a sense of relief. We walked back, talking about our next photo outing. On the way home, her smile and voice kept replaying in my mind, making my heart race. These feelings were clearly more than just friendship. I was becoming very aware of my growing attraction to her. The next day, whenever I went to the office, our conversations naturally increased. We talked about work, hobbies, and everyday events. I started looking forward to my visits to the office even more. When the exterior repairs at the hospital were completed, it was my last day visiting. I mustered the courage to ask Mia to exchange social media contacts to stay in touch. "Mia, would you like to be friends on social media? I'd love to share more about photography and other things with you." She smiled brightly. "Of course, I'd love that. I'd like to talk more with you and hear about your photography." Her positive response was a huge relief. However, despite exchanging contacts, I found myself unsure of what to message her. Having little experience with dating at 30, I was anxious about what to write and how to continue our conversations. Every time I saw her icon, my heart raced, but I couldn't find the courage to send a message. 10 days after I stopped going to the hospital, I received a social media message from Mia. The message read, "Hello Kevin. I'd like to meet and talk with you directly. Do you have some time?" Seeing her message made my heart pound. I felt guilty for not messaging her earlier. But the joy of seeing her again was much greater. I quickly replied, arranging to meet her. It had only been 10 days since we last met. But I was nervous. Meeting her in a different place from the hospital added to my nerves. When she arrived at the cafe, we exchanged smiles. Her usual bright smile helped me relax. "Hi, Kevin. How have you been?" She started the conversation in a friendly tone as soon as we sat down. We chatted about our recent activities and how we'd been spending our days. Once we felt more at ease, her expression grew more serious. "I called you here to talk about the patient data trouble you helped with. It turns out it wasn't my fault. Mike found out that a colleague deliberately changed the password." Her face showed a mix of relief and lingering anger. "I never thought I did anything to make a colleague resent me, but it really bothers me. And I wanted you to know the truth," she continued. "It was clear it wasn't your fault, Mia. It sounds like pure jealousy. Don't let it bother you too much." I reassured her, relieved that her innocence was proven. I was thrilled that she wanted to meet and talk to me. "Thanks, Kevin. Hearing that from you really helps." I had suspected the missing backup files and asked Mike to investigate. He noticed the oddity but struggled to find a lead. I sent him some websites from home that might help. He quickly began investigating, checking computer operation logs and the hospital security system records. He told me about a colleague of Mia's who had set her up. This colleague had a crush on a popular doctor at the hospital and didn't like that the doctor had started showing interest in the newly hired Mia. Out of jealousy, she caused the data trouble to get Mia into trouble. The culprit had a few years of experience working in IT. So she knew how to use shared computers without leaving identifiable login records and how to permanently delete backup files. This colleague, who was just as attractive as Mia, felt overshadowed by her arrival and wanted to drive her out. Mike worked on verifying the investigation and coordinating with the parties involved. The incident of making important hospital files inaccessible was taken very seriously. Although it took time to coordinate with everyone involved, the truth eventually came to light, and the colleague responsible was dismissed. When Mia thanked me at the cafe, her face lit up. In that moment, I found her absolutely adorable. Her smile was so bright that I thought, I have to confess my feelings. My heart pounded. Nervously, I said, "Mia, I need to tell you something. I've realized that I really like you. These past days without seeing you have felt empty. Your smile and voice mean a lot to me. You're more than just a friend to me." My heart raced even faster. "Would you go out with me?" I finally mustered the courage to express my feelings to her. She looked surprised for a moment but then smiled gently. "I thought you disliked me since you didn't send any messages." Taking a breath, she added, "Yes, I like you too, Kevin. I'd love to go out with you." Her acceptance transformed the moment into the best one ever. All my anxiety and tension melted away, replaced by immense happiness. "I'm sorry about the messages. I just couldn't find the courage." I felt a bit embarrassed, but I apologized honestly. While talking to her about taking her to a recommended photo spot as a way to apologize, my phone rang. It was Mike. I told her it was a call from him and excused myself. "Kevin, thanks for your help. We caught the culprit because of you." "Yeah, that's great," I said, pretending I hadn't just heard the news. "By the way, I need your advice on something else." Hearing advice gave me a bad feeling. It better not be too complicated. "I'm with someone right now, so make it quick." "Whether you find it troublesome is up to you, Kevin. Actually, there's talk about hiring you as our IT specialist. We currently have 3 IT staff. But we're short-handed." Not only had I helped resolve the data trouble, but my suggestions for strengthening security and integrating patient reception information with electronic medical records had impressed the hospital. They wanted me to work as an official IT staff member. The hospital recognized these issues but lacked the IT personnel to implement solutions. I had left my previous company because I felt out of sync with their direction, which left me pretty down. Since then, I had thought physical work suited me better. But it wasn't that I disliked IT. I enjoyed logical thinking and problem solving. This proposal genuinely interested me. "Got it. Let me think about it," I said, ending the call. I decided to discuss it with Mia. "What do you think? As long as it makes you happy, any choice you make is fine with me. If you see it as an opportunity, you should take it. Plus, I'd be happy to work in the same place as you." Her words made me so happy. Hearing that, my fears about returning to IT vanished. One thing that still bothered me was the job my uncle had introduced me to. After quitting my previous job, I had been quite depressed. I had resigned impulsively, causing trouble for those around me. Without another job lined up, I had become a recluse, barely leaving the house. Seeing this, my mom couldn't bear it anymore and talked to my uncle. He had always been family-oriented and supportive. Upon hearing about my situation, he immediately offered me a job. "Kevin, why not help with exterior repairs? It'll be good to get outside and move around." At first, I resisted, but knowing how much they cared, I decided to work at his company. Working there indeed made my days fulfilling. Physical work lifted my spirits, and I gradually started to enjoy learning repair techniques. "Seeing me become brighter," he often said, "see? Working is important." Solving the data trouble at the hospital boosted my confidence. He understood my transformation better than anyone. Would this be betraying him? The next day, I went to see my uncle before work started. It was rare for me to approach him directly. He quickly sensed that I wanted to talk and listen to me. "If moving forward makes you happy, that's what matters most. Exterior repair work is important, but your happiness is paramount," he said, encouraging me warmly. His support meant more than I could express. I decided to pursue my IT career again. Oddly, this decision felt like a fresh start, and I was excited. Time flew by as Mia and I started dating. Getting to know each other deeply, we felt a bond beyond just being lovers. Naturally, this led to marriage. Married life turned out to be even happier and more fulfilling than I had imagined. We often enjoyed photography together, a passion we both shared. Next year, we'll have a child. Now, we dream of hiking and taking photos with our child.